I'm going to keep fighting, Scott. I'm going to keep fighting. Please, Mr. Starmer, maybe there's a lot of good people in that House of Commons that care about the mums and dads and the grandmas and the granddads. All you MPs, please try.
Can I just have 20 seconds of your time really quickly? You're about to hear from the UK's Gandhi, a man who's been on hunger strike now for 40 days in response to Keir Starmer's winter fuel reduction and immigration, things of those nature. Now Paul's from Blackpool and he says the place just isn't the same anymore. He's actually got quite a heartbreaking story, as you'll hear in this podcast. Lastly, I just want to finish off by saying Paul is from that older generation, he's from up north, he isn't the most PC and you know, politically correct in the right way of saying things. Now I really don't feel like Paul means to offend anybody, but just as a disclaimer in this, that some people may find some of the things offensive. Now that's all I've got to say. Please like and subscribe, and on to the podcast. So hello Paul, it's really good to see you, mate, because I tried so hard to get hold of you for the last few weeks.
Hiya, Scott. I'm not much good on all these things.
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. You know
I'm
what?
allowed enough.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So first of all, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're going through obviously something that's incredibly difficult at the moment, so you're probably not going to have much energy. But just tell me first of all about obviously growing up in Blackpool and what it was like back then.
It was brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
I was born in 1946
Right.
in the New Central Hotel in Reeds Avenue, and I lived in Edward Street with my grandma and mum and dad and my aunties and my dad's brothers, and my mum's family came from Sheffield,
Right.
and they used to come every year to stop at my grand's boarding house.
Right.
And I would say it was an ideal 100% childhood.
Yeah.
As a little lad, I knew everybody in the area because there was a market right at the back of in Edward Street.
Right.
Opposite Grand's boarding house was Abingdon Street Market, and everybody in there knew me. I knew everybody else, and like it was an amazing childhood. Everybody that I knew they were good people.
Yeah.
Nothing was out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic, really. Blackpool was a great place then.
Yeah. I mean, even growing up as a child, I've been to Blackpool many times. Everybody has, haven't they? And, you know, it was always fantastic. The nightlife, everything, you know, all the furs, and it had so much to offer for holidaying, didn't it?
It was, well, in them days, it was mainly the shows, you know. There was the Winter Gardens, the Grand Theatre, the Palace Theatre. That was another one which got pulled down.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful building, absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
We had two big railway stations, Blackpool North and Blackpool Central.
Yeah.
In the summer months, there'd be like 200 special, not special, there'd be 200 ordinary services in and out of Blackpool every single day, most probably more.
Yeah.
And then they'd have like 250 specials.
Right.
You can imagine what the activity was like in them days.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it was
Millions of people. They were all over, you know.
Yeah, people didn't go abroad, did they? They all came to Blackpool and places like that.
Absolutely amazing. It was.
Yeah. So
but
what?
the atmosphere was different as well.
Right. Okay.
The atmosphere now, with what I've been doing on the promenade,
Yeah.
the atmosphere in those days was people were enjoying themselves. You didn't see the drunkenness that you see now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the addiction and things.
Yeah, I mean now, alcohol in Blackpool is right.
Yeah.
It's not just a couple of cans. They walk across promenade with a great bag full. You know.
Yeah.
And it seems like the whole country is drunk to me.
Yeah, so we'll go into that. So tell me like more of the changes that you see from obviously today's perspective.
Well, basically, I uh, in in those days, my interests as a young fella, I got a job the day I left school, and I went into I worked at a shoe shop actually,
Right.
called Stead and Simpsons. That
Right.
was in near the Grand Theatre,
Right.
and I worked there for about 12 months. And the guy who was the manager was a chap called Alf Meakin.
Okay.
And Alf Meakin to me was your typical granddad. He
Right.
was a lovely man, and I worked there for nearly about 9 or 10 months. And my
Okay.
dad said, "Are you still enjoying it, or do you want to do something else?" Well, to be honest, I really liked the job.
Yeah.
I used to sell as many shoes, socks, and stuff like that
Yeah.
as everybody else.
Right.
And I seemed to fit in pretty well. They were all women that worked there.
Right.
There was another guy who worked with me. What was his name now? He was a member of the Executives rock group,
Right.
right? And I just slipped his memory now, his name. And me and him worked there like we were the only lads that worked there. So we were in charge of all men's shoes,
Yeah.
and women's shoes were upstairs.
Right.
It was just a great job. Anyway,
Yeah.
my dad said, "What do you want to do?" So I said, I wanted to go into RAF,
Right.
but I couldn't because I had a dodgy eye,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
it
it's
didn't.
something new that.
So I then became I started working at Barton Motors in Preston,
Right.
and I worked there, which was a Vauxhall garage, Bedford. It's a massive garage, really big garage. Uh, but going to Preston every day, it was you were getting up at like 6:30 in the morning
Yeah.
with the buses from Preston to Blackpool coming home. I
Yeah.
didn't get home until nearly 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So it was a long, long, long day. Anyway, eventually I ended up working at a place called Williams Brothers,
Okay.
which was Squires Gate Airport, which was an amazing garage to work at. It was a lot of it was commercial, but all the lads that worked there were nearly all ex-military. They'd served through war and things like that. It was amazing. I loved it, and working on an airport as well. We got to see everything that came in. All the aircraft that came in. You got to know everybody, all the people in the fire department, control. We knew everybody. It was fabulous. It
Yeah.
really was. And I worked there till I was uh, 21. I finished my apprenticeship, which was an indentured apprenticeship. Uh, and then I left there and started working for myself. Oh, I'm sorry. I went working then with a gentleman who actually was one of the skilled mechanics that was there, called Mike Sherwin. He was a Jewish chap, lovely man. I think he's still alive, is Mike, and his family are as well. And I ain't sure where they live, but what a great guy.
Yeah.
And he started a garage job called J&M Autos in Blackpool.
Okay.
And the guy that he worked with, I think he was Scottish, but I think he came from Canada.
Right.
And he was called Mick, so it became J&M Autos. They started this business off, and I then, he asked me, "Would you want to come and work for us, Paul?" And I went working with Mick, and I worked there, and I loved every minute of it. Nice
Yeah.
people, great customers, learnt such a lot. I mean, it's not like mechanicking nowadays. It
Yeah.
was all hands on. It was heavy, gearboxes out, uh, servicing, engine overhauls, everything. You did every single job.
Yeah.
It weren't like it is nowadays. Get a part, you repaired things, you
Yeah.
more back on the road. Proper apprenticeships.
Yeah,
Nowadays, you'll plug your computer in it, and it works
yeah,
from there. It's just, I don't know.
yeah. Well,
It's,
you've been an hard working.
it's not like it was, you know. And after that, I decided to go on my own uh, when I got to about 25-ish
Right.
uh, and started working for myself then.
Yeah. Well, you've been a hard working person your whole life. That's obvious to everybody. Um,
Everything is hard because you didn't get one penny off anybody.
yeah.
Nobody gave you anything. You had to manage all what you did. You were trying to do jobs cheaply for people,
Yeah.
uh, because people didn't have the money.
Right.
And if you didn't employ people, which I loved repairing things,
Hmm.
taking things apart,
Yeah.
putting them back together. I loved all that, which
Yeah.
90% of mechanical people do anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's now
Well,
if you've got anything wrong with your car, it costs hundreds, if not thousands, doesn't it, with your vehicle now?
it's absolutely ridiculous nowadays.
Yeah.
Totally insane what they charge you.
Yeah.
Uh, people could. I'm not saying on the new cars, but on the older cars, you could look after and maintain that car. It was a lifetime's project.
Right.
You could do it, It didn't matter what it was. You could take carburetors to bit. You could get out bits for them, put them back together,
Yeah.
tune them up. And like when you got into the 60s and the 70s, uh, I mean, the hardest things to do were like automatic gearboxes
Right.
because they weren't easy to work on. You could do them but you needed a lot of special cleaning equipment and stuff
Right.
like that. But as regards these electric stuff nowadays, they had electric stuff at the beginning of cars, and it wasn't a problem. They worked really well.
Right.
But the stuff what they have now is all to do with the batteries. Excuse me.
No, it's fine. Take your time.
It's all to do with the batteries, and they are time bombs.
Right.
Until they get this right, you shouldn't really be buying one.
Right. So, do you know Blackpool? I mean, I had some parents who went to Blackpool recently, and they were saying that there's just nobody about anymore. Why
No.
do you think that the decline in tourism in Blackpool these days?
Well, Blackpool's a little bit like Beirut. When you see the pictures of when uh, Yasser Arafat and all them were there, they, all the buildings are derelict and destroyed.
Yeah.
When you come off that promenade, you'd think you were in Beirut.
Yeah.
It is that bad.
Yeah.
I have people coming up to me telling me at the Senator, the investors. I had a gentleman from Germany. He has about 6 hotels on the promenade,
Right.
and he borrowed money to restore these hotels back to apartments.
Right.
So he came here, invested his money, he bought 6 places. Some of them are now up and running and earning money.
Right.
But Blackpool Council will not work with him properly as a person, and they seem to go against it. When you're doing them up, you've got to be able to let them to so many. Each apartment has to be for like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You understand me?
Yeah.
And when you've done that, you can't let them for enough money in order to recoup your investment.
Right.
It's something like that.
Right.
And
Is it
he was
is
explaining to me, and he said, "I'm just in limbo now. I've bought all these places,
yeah.
can't get them going, and I'm still working at it. It's not easy. So apparently I did see on the internet last night that I don't know whether people know the area of Waterloo Road where it goes onto the promenade.
Okay.
Apparently, at 6 o'clock this morning, on Waterloo Road, which people will note around his ice cream. Yeah, it's a lovely ice cream parlour.
Right.
And next door to that is the old Woolworths building, which they've been trying to. It was a lovely building actually, but it's got into disrepair. And that old building I found out only yesterday, was due to be knocked down at 6 o'clock this morning.
Really?
That was on the when I was on my iPad, I picked up on it.
Right.
So that building is supposed to be being knocked down. It's today and in the future.
Yeah. So is it Labour that runs Blackpool?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what got you involved in? Because I've seen a couple of things in politics in Blackpool at the moment, and what? So you've been on? Are you still on hunger strike at the moment, or?
I am. I'm hoping to see what is going on with this vote for the winter fuel payment, which is supposed to be tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. So
But
do you want to tell people what you've been doing over the last 38 days? Is it, and why you came to that decision of obviously doing that
well, basically, my when the little girls got murdered, the three children,
in Southport? Yeah.
which appears to me and to a lot of people, it gets forgot.
Yeah.
And poor kids, the others that were wounded, the people that tried to stop what was going on, and everything. It's a massive trauma for people. I couldn't believe it when I read it.
Yeah.
I
Me too.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's gotta, what are we doing to allow this to happen in
Yeah.
our country?
Yeah. It seems to be happening a lot as well, don't it?
It's everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I saw that, I said to my wife, I'm going to try and do something. And I remember Mahatma Gandhi, I think it was about 1947. I remember when, like in the 50s, my grandma telling me about Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
You didn't have all you could watch then was black and white television, you
Yeah.
know. And I remember seeing the black and white pictures of him in India on a hunger strike. He didn't die, but he got independence for India, which
Yeah.
then was split and became India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
And I thought, this last year, I've been to 5 funerals of friends that I've known all my life, worked with in the car job at Blackpool, and they've gone. I'm 78, and I thought, I'm going to go on a hunger strike like Gandhi did. And
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing.
I've-
Until they do something about this country. Mr. Starmer hasn't got a lot of intelligence. You
Yeah.
know, the minute he came into power, the winter fuel supplements cut off.
Yeah.
People, how can you be so stupid as to do that immediately?
Yeah.
The man's he's lacking on everything really, isn't he? He's not the brightest tool in the box, as I'd say, because his dad used to be a toolmaker.
I
And
heard you say that, so I was going to ask you a little bit about that because would you repeat that message you said to GB News on that?
I did repeat that on GB News. Now,
Yeah.
uh, being in my job, all my life I've restored pre-war Rolls-Royce cars.
Yeah.
Uh, I used to love them to bits. When I got to 60, I stopped doing it because I just couldn't keep. I'd done it all my life. I had to have something else to, how can I say? put my life into.
Yeah.
So I did something else then. But
Yeah.
just getting back to Mr. Starmer, when when you are in engineering, I've met engineers that were dedicated people. You know, I've had people that I've known that have actually been so involved in the job, they have committed suicide. Would you believe that?
Right.
Because things weren't going right in what they were doing. And I've known these people, and toolmakers are amazing people.
Yeah.
They make like the production tooling and things like that, and they can when engineering first started off, it was all done by hand. I mean, it's all done with computers now, and the tooling is done with computers. But uh, I had a lot of respect for him, and Mr. Starmer's dad must have been a clever man
Yeah.
if he was involved in making tooling, you
Yeah.
know. Uh, but as I said before, he just doesn't seem he couldn't make a you know he couldn't make his bed a bet.
Yeah.
The
Well,
way I feel about him.
allegedly, his mother was severely disabled, and he used to care for her, which is quite a concern, given that he's been in. If he's cared for someone, the first thing he does is go against obviously what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean I don't know whether his mother is still alive or his mum is dead, but if she is dead and she died in her 70s or something like that, she's most probably lucky to get to that age, isn't she?
Yeah, of
You know what
course.
I mean? Because he's not a clever man.
Yeah.
You know, how was he gone on? How was he gone on treating his mum and not being able to look after her?
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying. My mum was about a fortnight, 3 weeks off 100 when she died.
Right. That's fantastic, by the way.
And my mum died of sepsis.
Right.
But for nearly 6 weeks, they didn't know what my mum had got.
Right.
It was not nice.
Yeah, of course. I can imagine.
A terrible thing.
Yeah.
Plus, all the great grandkids, all the grandkids, all the family were coming to see her while she got sepsis.
Really.
And nobody told us that she got sepsis.
Wow. It does
You,
make you incredibly ill as well,
know,
sepsis.
you can't believe it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with my grandparents, so my granddad now, I think he's 78, 79, same age as yourself. So I've got those old fashioned values still of stand up on the bus for a woman, and let her sit down and hold the door open.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, people are very wary of me now. If I hold the door open for a woman, she's like, "What's
yeah,
he trying to do?" Like,
I know.
mm,
They don't have any manners. Please,
yeah,
thank you. Excuse me. They
yeah,
don't like to say it, do they?
of course, yeah, yeah, I agree totally. So how
Go
have
on.
you found the hunger strike then for going on for so long? I mean, there's a lot of people who've been concerned about you. When I was in my pursuit of trying to find you, people were saying, "Please tell him to stop it. We're really worried about him," and stuff like that.
Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah,
I do have a daughter, Scott, who is she's 55. My daughter Kerry, and she has got stage 4 stomach cancer.
oh well, I'm sorry about that.
She got that last September. She's had all the treatment now, chemotherapy, backwards and forwards to hospital,
Yeah,
and she is now at home on tablets. But we have to be very careful with her because she can pick infections up
of
instantly.
course.
And if she gets an infection, she can't have her tablets.
Yeah,
So this is, I don't really know the ins and outs of why she can't have her tablets, but she cannot have her tablets.
yeah,
And I spoke to Kerry. I was with Kerry on Saturday, and we had a long talk. And will tell you about that later on.
Yeah, no worries.
Not at the moment. But every time I see her, she's just getting to get her hair's just starting to grow,
Oh, bless.
which is quite amazing
Yeah.
because she looks a little bit like she's getting to look a bit like I don't know whether any older people will remember, but yeah, there used to be Tommy, not Tommy Steele. There used to be another one, plate guitar, and
Right.
he had spiky hair. And
Right.
when I saw Kerry on Saturday, I said, "Blooming heck, I can't think of his name now." I said, "You look really like him, with your hair's that spiky."
Yeah. No, it's right.
Uh,
I've got a real strong story with cancer as well. Well, two of them. Like I say, my grandma and granddad who brought me up. My grandma died, and my cousin. We were the same age, both in the same year with cancer when I was 16. So I totally understand what you're going through there. It's really difficult.
it, it, it's it's a weird illness, really, because I have had another daughter, Scott.
Yeah.
I'll show you a picture of her,
Yeah.
and this picture. Wait a minute, let me just try and get it better. I
Yeah.
keep that in my wallet. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. I can see it.
That was my daughter Tina.
Yeah.
She died uh, 13 years ago,
Wow.
and she had cancer from the age of 19 to 40.
Wow.
And Tina was an amazing person.
Yeah.
She fought and fought and fought.
Yeah.
Now, that picture was taken about 5 weeks before she died.
Wow. You wouldn't know that, would you?
No, look how healthy she looks.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking now. They, what happened with her was over the 20 years that she had cancer, it was up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
We had good times, and then there'd be bad times, and she dropped to a real bad level.
Yeah.
And it eventually got into her lymph nodes in the neck. And what they had to do for that, they had to make a mask to cover her head, and they had to make a mask to cover her body.
Right.
But the mask they made for the body wasn't big enough, and it killed the bottom half of Tina's heart when they gave her the radiotherapy.
Right.
She didn't die of the cancer. She died of heart failure.
Oh, right. Okay.
And that was approximately 6 weeks after that picture was taken.
Yeah. You've
And
been
she
through an
just
awful lot,
went
Paul.
then to nothing.
Yeah.
And I was heartbreaking,
Yeah, I can imagine.
because she was a good kid. She
Yeah.
was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, you can always stay in touch with me as well going on from this. I'm not just here for, getting a podcast of, obviously it's going to help get your message out there, but I will stay in touch with you in the future if you're happy with that. And I'll come up
Yeah.
and see you and things like that, anytime that you need me, of course.
Welcome anytime, Scott. You
Yeah.
will be welcome anytime, mate.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. That would be brilliant.
And I'm
So,
going to keep fighting, Scott. I'm going to keep fighting.
yeah, of course.
I've got to do more on the internet,
Yeah.
getting these things out so people can do it. And I've been doing a lot with Mark Butcher. Mark's been a big help to me, and,
Yeah.
and lots of other people have as well. Marie, there's a girl called Maria. She's a lovely lass. She's been helping me a great deal,
Yeah.
and we have to keep fighting to get this country back.
Yeah.
It's too easy to lose it.
Yeah.
And the likes of Mr. Starmer and his government that want to turn us into a communist state, in a bit we'll be chipping babies up when they come out of hospital. That's the next thing that's coming.
Yeah.
So that when them kids, they can scan them like a dog. They'll be able to, you'll be having your protests and they'll be going there, this is so. Everybody, it'll be going on.
Yeah.
It's got to be stopped.
Yeah. I've been incredibly worried about, I mean, for me now, it's very important. So the mainstream media have been quite ignoring you, and something that you're doing. You've got to respect someone who is that passionate about what they believe in. I really respect that. Whether I agree with them or not on it is another matter, but I really respect and I feel people should always be able to have their say in the matter and have their opinion. It's their personal opinion, but that seems to
Exactly.
be disappearing, doesn't it?
Yeah. I can't tell you. How live for time.
You can talk as much as you want, Paul.
Right. Well, basically, last week, myself and I have been doing my protesting on my own at the centre,
Yeah,
and my wife decided to come with me. I think this was last Sunday. Not Sunday. Wait a minute. Not Sunday just gone. Not yesterday. Sunday previous.
yeah,
And we were down there, and there was about 7 or 8 old people. They were all sat with me. We were all talking, and a very big chap came up to us and started dictating because I was flying my Israeli flag.
yeah,
Right? Now, what happened then was it got a little bit involved, and my wife did a silly thing. She got up and told this fella to go away because he was swearing. And then what happened was uh, it, she went to. So what happened then was she stood up, uh, stuck a nose into what we're saying because I do have ways of talking to people. I try to get them to sit down and explain their point of view,
yeah,
right? So she got up, and it got to the stage where this fella, Pauline, went to kick him, and this fella pushed Pauline away. Of which I got up then and went after him, and I got pushed away.
yeah,
So it all finished and was gone. But it did. Somebody did do a video of it, and it was put on X on Twitter.
yeah,
Right now, when that happened, uh, one of the lads that come down said, "I knew who this chap is." So we went from there, and through the last week, we managed to speak with this fella one to one, me, Pauline, and this chap, and we had a meeting with him yesterday morning.
right,
So I then sat down with him. We talked. He apologised for what he'd done. He wasn't Islamic guy. He was English, right? But unfortunately, he did look Islamic,
right,
as does my grandson. He looks he looks like he is from Pakistan,
right,
right? So we all had a good talk yesterday. I explained what I was doing. He explained why he didn't like the Israeli flag, of which I 100% agreed with him. You know, I feel sorry for the Palestinian people, but I do not feel sorry for Hamas. They are using the Palestinian people. They hate Jews and Christians. I am a Christian. I in Blackpool we had loads of Jewish people lived here. Good businesses. They were great people.
yeah,
You know, we didn't have Hamas people that wanted to kill us, murder us, and cut our heads off and
yeah,
stab our children. We didn't want that. You know, these this is what all these problems are about. We give all that money to the Palestinians, and it all ends up with them big fat lazy sheiks who live in these different places getting all the money. The
right,
Palestinian people don't get it. It goes towards rockets to attack Israel.
right,
And my way of looking at it, the Jewish people would get on with the Palestinian people if they were allowed to do it. But
Right.
they are allowed to do it.
Okay.
And we know, everybody knows that. All these protesters we have, these Palestinian protesters, these stupid, silly, uh, the gay community, do they not understand that if you go to all this business of gays for Palestine, if you go and live in Palestine, they're going to throw you off a building.
Yeah, they do have strict.
They have strict laws. They do not like homosexuality or
Yeah.
lesbianism. They don't want it.
Is it
They're going to kill
Sharia law or something? Sharia law, I think it is, isn't it?
it. That's it.
Yeah.
It's under Sharia law, yeah. But I cannot understand why they want to. They obviously get paid for doing what they do, so it's another income. Somebody's giving them the money, you know. It's wrong.
Yeah. So
You,
you had
you,
a
you,
debate with this. So how was the outcome of this debate that you've had with this person? Because that is how to do things, not the initial pushing and punching what he's done. That's terrible.
well, when we sat there for nearly an hour and we talked, and the guy that I spoke to was, I'd welcome him to my house anytime. He
Yeah.
was a decent chap. What he did, he made one mistake. He saw the Israeli flag. He hadn't had a drink and nothing like that. He was just walking across the road with two of his mates,
Yeah.
and he saw the Israeli flag, and he took umbrage with the Israeli flag.
Yeah.
And me and Pauline, after speaking to him, we realised, you know, I agree with everything the lad said, but it is not the Jewish people that want to do that.
Yeah.
We
Is your
have to
wife
get.
okay?
Sorry,
Is your wife okay?
my wife is okay. She banged the back of her head, but
Blimey.
she does have a thick skull. It didn't do any damage,
Right. Well,
so
that's good.
she's okay. If you see the video, but I don't want any repercussions to come to this chap. Uh, he is a job and he has a job and he is in employment, and I want him just left alone.
Yeah.
The guy made a mistake. Pauline made a mistake doing what she did, in my eyes, even though various people say no, it wasn't a mistake. I
Yeah.
told her when she comes down, you sit down and you behave yourself, and I have my way of dealing with people.
I think that's a good way of down, similar to how you've just said it.
But,
Then you know.
but I also have, while I have been down there, I also have another gentleman who is a doctor at the hospital. I won't give you his name. He is a Muslim doctor at the hospital who has been my friend for nearly well over 12 months. We're in a wildlife camera club,
Yeah.
and I've helped him a lot with things and that. I thought we were pretty good friends. But he came to see me down at the cenotaph. Now, I know this gentleman is Muslim, and I know his wife is a Sikh, of the Sikh religion.
Yeah.
So when he came to see me, I was a bit, with him being a doctor, I was a bit wary of what he was saying to me.
Right.
Why have you come down, really? Or are you fishing with you being a doctor? So then we sat down and I said to him, you may be able to help me with what I'm trying to do. And he said, how do you mean? I said, well, I want to bring good Muslim people and good Buddhist, all religion, everything,
Yeah.
just all together. And you might be able to help me do that.
Yeah.
So I explained. He asked me, could he do a video of me, which he did. I did a video with him, and I said everything on the video just as it was come out of my head. and I've heard nothing from him since.
Right.
So I don't know whether this gentleman cares or he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I would really be pleased if he did care and he wanted the same thing as I want for my country and my town.
Yeah.
Only time will tell if he does get in touch with me. If he
Yeah.
doesn't get in touch with me, don't want to know, does he?
No, well, hopefully you'll watch this. I mean, hopefully this will take off and get you, the traction that you need. I've been very shocked that the mainstream
Show you
haven't.
my little dog.
She's fantastic. What's he or she's name?
This is my little Peggy Poogle. Oh yeah,
Peg.
little Peg,
Beautiful. She
and
is
she is
beautiful.
amazing. She is a great little dog.
Yeah.
She's just over nearly 3 years old now.
Right.
She's a little gem. Yeah.
Bless.
Oh, and this is my wife, Pauline.
Hello.
Pauline. Hello, Pauline.
Yeah.
You all right?
I'm good, thank you. I've just been asking about you. I was a bit concerned with obviously what went on, so I'm glad that you're okay.
We're fine, both of
Good.
us.
Good.
We haven't
Keep
got
fighting.
flower age by being soft.
No. You see, everything that goes on in this country is handouts. Handout for this, handout for that. The winter fuel supplement, which we are trying to get back for the OAPs, is very, very important.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on tomorrow, please, Paul?
There's a vote, isn't there? In
I'm not
Westminster.
sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or Wednesday. It's one of the two. It does say tomorrow on the news.
No, Pauline, it's tomorrow.
Right. And basically, I'll say it.
Go on, say it.
Basically, they're taking the winter fuel payments away totally from old age pensioners. But if you're on credit of some kind, pension credit or whatever kind,
you still get it.
You're still going to get it. So anyone who isn't, they're taking the winter fuel payments away, totally away. And everybody knows the fuel isn't going to come down. It stops higher and higher each time. And why are they taking it away from the pensioners? Because when you think about it logically, when we're 77 and 78 now, but we paid our dues in all the many years. I left school at 15, so did Paul. And I stopped for a couple of years when I had each time we had the children, then went back again. Paul worked in the day, I worked at night. We did all those things, and each time we got paid tax and everything else on. When he became in his own business, you pay your income tax, you pay your VAT, you pay your accountant, and all those kind of things. Fuel. And suddenly, as far as I'm concerned, I think I wrote it in a letter, all he wants the old age pensioners to do is pop the clogs.
Yeah.
Let them freeze to death.
Let them freeze to death. We won't have to look after them.
We won't have to send them, they won't take any of the NHS up, so then they're of no use anymore. And that is what my opinion is.
And he'll be able to let more immigrants in then, won't
he?
Of
Course he can, yeah.
Well, Judge Rinder commented on it on Good Morning Britain that to the Labour, I think it's the Vice Prime Minister, isn't she? But she was saying, people are really unhappy you're taking away winter fuel payments, but you're putting a lot of money into illegal immigration coming over the borders, and people are just not happy about it.
Well, he also, Scott, we've got this.
I'm going to go and get
okay. You go and do it.
See you later, Scott. Nice meeting you.
Look after yourself.
So we've got this illegal migration. That is, it's not illegal migration. We've got all this climate change.
Yeah.
Which is 85% total rubbish. This climate is not going the way they're saying it is going. And there is a reason for that.
Okay.
When you get older, you will realise, and they want us to have wind turbines, everything. I don't disagree with that, but you have to have backup plans.
Yeah.
And 30 years ago, we should have built across Morecambe Bay from Blackpool to Barrow-in-Furness big turbines, a road across the sea to Barrow-in-Furness, and there should have been big turbines in the wall there to power the electrical systems. It would have worked. And if it had been done 30 years ago, it would have cost nothing.
Right.
Nowadays, you put one of these wind turbines, I don't know how many millions of pounds they cost to buy one, but when are you ever going to recoup the money that you put into it back?
Right.
The only time you get anything for free in this country is when you pedal that push bike. Manpower.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the old head, didn't it?
It's great. But he's going about it all. He's giving, was it something like £11 billion to African aid?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is for their climate aid.
Yeah.
You know, China are building. They're going to build about 800 power stations. They've been on with it since I think February.
Right.
They're not bothered about climate change.
Yeah.
Nobody's bothered about it. Only this nutter who's in power.
Yeah.
And his team. It's common sense, Starmer. Start listening. You know, you've lined your rest of your life. You're going to get your wonderful pension and not pay tax on it. How long do you want to live for, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not particularly with any political side, but I mean, I just, like I say, I stand for people speaking freely on how they, like that they should, two men sitting with a pint and having a chat about it. So I'm
Exactly.
passionate about things like that, but you can obviously see when things aren't right, and at the moment it has gone so far. I'm worried that we won't come back from all of this in so many different ways. That the things that are going on at the moment.
All I'm worrying about is the women and children of this country.
Yeah.
And all you fellas that are out there, I bet you none of you thought that you were ever going to be a slave. Can you imagine it? A slave? Your grandkids, your grandparents, your grandchildren, slaves in England? Well, you're already starting because that's what it's all about. Slavery.
Yeah,
And
it does seem to be going that way.
look at the blooming attack at the airport. Nobody charged.
Yeah,
It is disgusting.
yeah,
It is absolutely disgusting.
and they only let out a certain footage at first, didn't they? Which showed a
So
different picture of it.
it was to wind everybody up.
Yeah,
Really was. To wind everybody up.
yeah. Because even I seen it, and I mean, I got
But
the wrong picture from it at first. But I mean, you go
that's
into when that's what
BBC,
you've done.
isn't it?
Mm,
BBC have done that. You know, all the paedophiles that's worked for him. Good God.
yeah,
Hey, they're the only ones that we know about, really.
yeah,
Yeah. Look at Jill Dando. When they killed Jill Dando, she knew what was going on, did Jill?
yeah. I seen this recently. It was the first time I'd seen it that she knew what was going on or something.
I mean, when that actually happened and you saw the footage of her come out the house and him come up to stab her, it was strange. She was a fantastic lady.
Yeah, I've heard.
That lady, she only had to just look at you and smile. She demanded attention.
Mm,
You understand me? She
yeah,
was such an amazing presenter. She was absolutely marvelous.
I've heard.
You know, and for her to be killed and then find out, was it a plot? You know, because I don't think there's ever been a proper reason for why she was killed.
Yeah,
You know, but if she did know something then and was going to bring it to the attention, you know, It's not good.
Yeah, there's a good series on Netflix about. I don't know whether you watch Netflix, but it's quite a good series.
Yeah,
Just to add, you've sent a letter to Keir Starmer, haven't you?
yeah. You
And
want?
someone's delivered it.
Wait a minute. Oh, see you. Sorry. You want me to read it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Dear sir, my name is Paul Durant and I am 78 years of age. I am an old age pensioner. I was born and bred in Blackpool. I am writing to you as a deeply concerned citizen of Blackpool. I find myself in the unfortunate position of being 29 days into a hunger strike, driven by my profound discontent of the state of my country. My protest is against what I perceive as the detrimental impact of mass immigration on the communities and our resources and public services are overstretched. This has a direct impact on the quality of life. This has a direct impact on the quality of life of many UK citizens. I am alarmed by the existence of what many now see as a two-tier policing system, which undermines the trust and safety that all citizens should expect from their government, and furthermore, I implore you to reinstate the winter fuel grant for pensioners through the harsh winter months. Also, I believe the safety and protection of women and children must be paramount in Britain. I urge your government to take stronger action to ensure their well-being. Just a minute. Lastly, I am concerned that the Labour Party, under your leadership, is breaching the human rights of our UK citizens regarding our rights to freedom of expression. Open dialogue and difference of opinion are essential in a democracy. It is vital that we protect those rights for all citizens. I hope you take my concerns seriously and understand the urgency behind this action. I look forward to your response, Paul Durant.
I think that's fair.
So I haven't had any response at all.
Yeah,
But I didn't expect one because the man is ignorant.
yeah.
You
And I know,
know, his dad most probably brought him up to say please and thank you and this, that, and the other. But it didn't sink in really. But it's understandable.
yeah. I mean, there was a podcast on Piers Morgan with the psychologist Jordan Peterson, and
Oh yeah,
Jordan Peterson was quizzing him on Piers Morgan and what he thinks Starmer's going to do, and even Piers Morgan said he won't go in there rash doing these sorts of things. He's a good man, he's intelligent, and even he didn't see it coming. You know what has happened.
yeah, yeah. It's I don't know.
Yeah. So who was it who delivered the letter, Paul?
Uh, uh, our Labour candidate is Chris Webb.
Right.
I had about an hour and a half talking to Chris Webb,
Yeah.
and Chris said write him a letter, and that I decided then to write that letter. I kept it as nicely as I could and as businesslike as I could. I would
Yeah.
have liked to have said a lot of other things, which, if I do ever get the chance to meet Mr. Starmer, I would like to sit down and talk to him and let him explain to me his vision of the future for Great Britain and everybody else.
Yeah.
What
Sorry.
you
Go
know,
on.
it'd be interesting to know what he really wants this country to be like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would want to know that as well, with how the Conservatives have ran things the last few years as well.
Yeah, all my life it's been Labour, Conservative, Liberal, and my dad was a steam engine driver in Blackpool, drove all the way through the war, reserved occupation, which was hard because it wasn't like these fellas you see now earning, 80. What is it going to be? About 80 grand a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's last take-home pay when he retired in 1980 as a driver. Somewhere I have his wage packet because it weren't paid into your bank. It was in a wage packet, and
Yeah.
it was written out. And do you know what? In 1988, when he retired at 60, he died when he was 66. In 1988, his wage packet in money was something like £19, 7 shillings and sixpence, something like that.
Wow.
That's how daft it was,
Yeah.
and that's true. But do you know something? We survived on that.
Yeah.
My mum and my dad survived. My mum lived to be nearly 100.
Yeah.
And her pension, my dad's pension, which then became hers, she had that till she died.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't know how you're going to go on with what there is.
Yeah.
As this country is going, we're going to be. They want everybody to just have a card. I think
Yeah.
that's for that. But you still have got to have money in the bank, Mr. Starmer, to pay for that card. It don't work if you haven't got that, and you're taking everything off everybody.
Yeah. I mean, so I was just going to say, as kind of our last kind of topic now, is there anything that you'd like to see, obviously, going forward in the future, something positive that you'd like to, because obviously everybody wants change at the minute, no matter who you are, from whatever direction, but what would a future generation look like to you, a positive one?
I want. I would like, if I was in a position of my daughter now, who I know is going to die in a bit, and I can't help her. I couldn't help my other daughter. If I was in my Kerry's position now, she would be wanting my grandkids, my two grandsons, Kerry's sons, to have a future in this country. And they ain't got a future.
Yeah.
They've got to get out. If anybody who lives in this country, and if you've got an opportunity to get out and you're a young person, go somewhere else. Because at the moment, this country is evil.
Yeah.
All the people that were locked up, the ones that were rioting, booze related, well, I'm sorry, you deserved it. Because I know you wound up, but you didn't have to have booze involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least with the Muslim country, they don't drink.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But alcohol seems to be against their religion.
Yeah.
And in a bit, you won't have any pubs to go in anyway, will you? So
yeah, that's another thing that's upset people, isn't it?
It's mad.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously there's the stopping smoking now, which, they're stopping e-cigarettes as well. And
I haven't been a smoker. Nearly every funeral I go to is smoking. It's somebody who smoked. There ain't many, honestly.
Yeah.
Every single one. Me and my wife have never smoked. It's a thing I've always disliked. His clothes used to stink. And actually, the best thing they ever did was stopping smoking in restaurants.
Yeah, I agree. Indoors.
Because, I mean, as a non-smoker, you would go in a restaurant and you'd be sat there. You just got like a lovely. We used to have a really good restaurant in Blackpool. It was called the Town and Country Restaurant,
Right.
and it was on Queen Street. I think it was Queen Street, and it was owned by a really nice friend of mine called John Jalal and his wife Judith. They were lovely people. He was Indian, lovely man. Honestly, I wish you were still here, John. You were a great person. And their restaurant was the best in the Pyle Coast, and you could get like steak Diane, Chateaubriand, you know, them sort of meals that
Yeah.
were really good. By God, they used to make your mouth water. I can taste them now.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be really saying that could have. But they were good. And it just doesn't happen nowadays. You don't see. These places are not there in Blackpool,
Yeah.
you know.
It's happened in Wigan, where I'm from. I'm originally from Wigan, and I did something on the town centre recently, asking people, why has this town disappeared? All the shops have shut down. I spoke to the small market traders and asked them, are they coping with the rent and things like that? And what we found was quite remarkable. There's nobody is happy at all.
And we've got our and another thing in Blackpool, you know, we've got our usual influx of these Pakistani barbers type of thing.
Oh yeah, Turkish barbers.
Turkish, that's it, Turkish barbers. Yeah, there's bloody hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And we do have we do have like a lot of ladies hairdressers that are still English, whereas you know, and I do. I've been going to the same hairdresser who used to cut my mum's hair.
Right.
Lovely, Joanne. Yeah. What a great girl. You know, she does men's hair, she does children's, women's, and she must struggle. She's on her own, a little one-man band. She must struggle with all these places because you just don't know where another one's going to pop up.
I know.
How are they funding them? It's got to be illegal.
Mm.
There's got to be some funding. Somebody's giving them the money to pay for all this fancy posh equipment that they're getting in.
Yeah, a lot of them are cash only as well, which worries people and has people wondering why.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So why did you choose the place that you did for your protest? It was outside of the memorial, but there was a hotel just behind, wasn't there?
Well, to be honest with you, that wasn't the reason. Because when I started my protest in May, I was trying to draw attention to Tommy Robinson's rally in London on the 27th.
Right.
So my flag then, don't forget we hadn't got the children going on. We hadn't got the children, they hadn't been killed then. So I used to go down with my 27th of July outside the cenotaph. I know a lot of veterans that go down there, and I know a lot of there's a lot of down and outs. They don't all want help because some of them choose to do what they do, you know. And I'm not speaking out of turn with that. I don't mean veterans. What I'm saying is there's a lot of drug addicts and drug dealers down there. And we have a constant flow of these electric bikes delivering drugs along the promenade.
Right.
Now, when it's a really sunny day and there's a lot of children down there, something is seriously going to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get killed. These guys are flying about over 30 mile an hour down the tram tracks. Police do nothing. They attempt to. All it takes is a net, tangle them up in a big net, and get them caught. You know what I mean? Yeah. They do nothing till somebody gets killed, and then I'll have another picture at the cenotaph there of the child who's been killed.
Yeah.
It'll come.
Yeah, there's a lot of knife crime against children as well at the moment, isn't there? It is concerning. Having a daughter myself, it's
Terrible.
worrying.
It is.
Yeah,
You just do not know when it's going to happen.
yeah,
That's how bad it is. But just getting back to when I first went down, I went to Tommy Robinson's do on the 27th, myself and my wife, with people that I had met coming to uh, the cenotaph to meet me. Uh, People who have made friends and that, they all come down to see me, and there was about 6 of us went down that day, and we stood right at the very front. We got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you'll see my 3 flags flying in front of the bandstand. We were there all day. There was no trouble. There were no problems. Uh, we got the odd one that was shouting about the Israeli flag, and as I said, come and talk to me. They won't talk to you
yeah,
because they don't have an answer. Because at the end of the day, they did it. They started it. They invaded Israel. Israel will do loads to help the Palestinian people, but you have to get rid of this government that wants to kill Jews and Christians.
mm,
And I think everybody knows that these people will not do it.
yeah,
That is why I'd like to speak to the gentleman who I told you about, who was one of the doctors at our hospital.
yeah. I
Yeah,
hope he does watch this. If you are watching this, please do get in touch with Paul.
exactly. Yeah. So come and talk to me. You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know.
So apparently, Tommy Robinson down there was arrested on terrorism charges, wasn't he?
You know that Tommy Robinson is, and I even have my own friends that call him a Nazi.
Mm,
That were my own friends that call him a Nazi, and I cannot believe it.
yeah,
The guy is nothing like that. The guy realised what was going on in this country.
yeah,
We were the idiots that didn't realise. We believed what the uh, BBC, all the channels, the mainstream media were telling us, and we were wrong. And I apologise for that, Tommy, because you are a gentleman. After meeting you and watching every single thing you put out, mate, you're a gentleman. And that's what I suggest all of you people do. Watch Tommy's videos because it is the truth. It is not a lie.
yeah. Well, I mean, I always respect someone because he's grew up in Luton, and he's seen some changes that have happened in Luton, and I always think it's important to give people just listen to what they have to say on it. I worked in Oldham when I was 16, and I myself was spat at by the community there in Oldham. But I did also meet some people who offered me fruit, and they were so they were so kind, and they were so thankful that I was helping them. And then I had people who spat on me and stuff. So there definitely is a problem out there, and it's not being dealt with.
Yeah.
Um, it would be better to see better solutions so we could come together and live in harmony for once. But it seems like we're going further away from that and not closer together.
It does. It does. And at the end of the day, only time will tell. If this gentleman comes back to speak to me again and we have another little talk, that would be great. I would welcome that, because when he joined our camera club, right, which is on Stanley Park, Blackpool, before any of this was even dreamt of, I was the first one to wake up, go up to him, shake his hand, and welcome him to the camera club. Me.
Yeah,
He didn't come up to me. I did that, and
yeah,
he knows it.
yeah. It's those old-fashioned values that live with you, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
Hmm. I can see you're a good person, Paul, and I admire so much what you're doing. I really do, and someone who's that passionate about the cause and what they believe in, I think is admirable. And I just want to say well done to you, and I will follow your journey all the way through. And I really respect and admire you for it.
The people of my own age now, my best friends, or who have supposedly been my best friends all my life, the ones that have supported me know who they are. The other ones don't, because they ain't been near me since I started with this in May. And they all know who they are. I wish you the best of luck in the world. But by God, are you utter fools and clowns for not seeing what is going on in this country? You must not like your grandchildren or your children to want them to live in a state like they're going to live in.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah. And hopefully the mainstream media can start getting on your cause and giving you, it's news.
Well, I've actually thought of going to BBC,
Yeah.
going down to BBC and sit outside. But it's a bit awkward going to London when you're my age. You need to have somewhere to stay
Yeah, and it's not a safe
in that
place,
area
anymore, is it?
and transport. And I ain't got pots of money. I've just got my little house. That's it. And I've got my pension, my old age pension, and my other. But I ain't got pots of money, and it's expensive going to London.
Yeah.
I've been on talk radio a couple of with James Whale. I went down to London with Mark Butcher to go to GB News. So I was on GB News when I met Ben Habib, Martin Daubney, and I did another one. I've done another two for GB News.
Yeah.
Seen
them.
Trying to get it over. It was hard for me at first because I didn't understand this 10-second delay or something.
Yeah.
When you're recording, and
Yeah.
when you go in that studio, you sit there like this, and you think, now that's you're looking at it, and what you're saying is gone 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So, but now I understand how it works.
Yeah. No, I'm good on you. More power to you. And I mean, I'll try and bring it to the attention of even people that talk TV. I mean, I watch all manner of, I try and get a different side to all sides of arguments, but I'll try and bring it to people as well because I feel like you deserve it. You put a lot of effort in, and news. The public want to see news. They shouldn't be filtering out what they don't think is right. For example.
Yeah, we've got a king, King Charles. Charles. I thought your mother was the best thing since sliced bread. All my life, myself and my wife have supported your cause. All my life, I've supported it. I really have. We actually met your mum at Wheaton Camp. She was in a corridor coming between us, and I have a video of the Queen and my wife stood in front of me with my old video camera. I have a video of your mum walking in front of us and my wife saying to her, "You look beautiful, Mum." Yeah, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
But you've got to come off the fence, Charles, and you're either for the country or you're against us, because you cannot carry on like this, mate. We're nearly the same age, me and you. We're nearly the same age.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how you can be part of something, grow up into it, and then suddenly make people think that you don't care about us, because that's the way you make me feel personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any last few words that you'd like to say before we finish off, Paul?
Please, Mr. Starmer, give give the old ladies and the old men the winter fuel supplement. By all means, take it off the people that have got pots of money. And I don't mean with if you're on family credit. A lot of people don't fame, you know, is it family credit or pension credit? That's
Yeah.
it. A lot of people I'm not on pension credit. And do you know why? Because I can't fill the bloody form in. When I go to fill the form in, it stops. Why is that? I just, I'm going to have to get somebody who's going to come and say, you should have clicked that box or that, and that'll help me try to get it.
Yeah.
Because we need it. We ain't got the money.
Yeah.
Ain't got thousands and thousands of pounds in my bank like these millionaires.
Yeah.
These people need, ordinary people are not like that. And I don't want to see anybody die this winter.
No.
Nobody. But if you vote tomorrow, Mr. Starmer, I know you won't vote, but maybe there's a lot of good people in that House of Commons that care about the mums and dads and the grandmas and the granddads. All you MPs, please try, do one good thing and help the old people, please. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Paul. Honestly, I've really enjoyed talking with you for the last hour and 15. I didn't realise it was going to go on so long, mate, but stay
We
in
can
touch.
wrap it, Scott.
Thank you.
Sorry,
I'll
Mike.
stay in touch with you and I'll send you a message later on and let you know when it's going on and everything like that. And if you ever need anything, even if it's just a chat, mate, you're very welcome to let me know and I'll come up and see you sometime and buy you a coffee or something, mate. And, good luck with everything.
Well, I'm hoping I'm hoping I can stop my hunger strike tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
But it's funny. Just it's actually 40 days tomorrow.
Yeah, I knew it was getting to 40 days. I mean, that's incredible.
40 days tomorrow,
Yeah.
and that's what Jesus did, didn't he?
Hmm.
He fasted for 40 days, but Jesus didn't have water or liquids.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Paul, thank you very much. I'll speak to you
Thank
later
you.
and have a good day, Paul.
You take care, mate.
You too. See you, mate.
Bye bye.